guys. So as people are getting in here, I'm going to go ahead and get started so you guys can dive into the fun stuff. If you haven't, if you're not familiar with us, this is Rose and Hustle. We are a community for women in business. We do both some virtual events and we do things that are in person as well, which we're actually going to talk about coming up with Jill. This free workshop series has been going on for the past couple months. We've had some amazing women sharing on different topics. Many of those workshops are being loaded onto YouTube so you can catch the replay. And some of that stuff is exclusive to the workshop. So if there is something coming up that you're interested in, make sure you sign up for the live just in case we're not putting it on the channel. But this and the last few are going to be loaded up soon, so you can keep your eyes on that. We have another workshop coming up on Monday, the 18th, called the Reset Room, and that's going to be with Rain from Traveling Aura Spa. It's a really nice Zen place to kind of recalibrate, and she does stretches with you and the meditation, and it's just a very calming thing to work into your day. So definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in. Just again, for everyone that's showing up right now, we are going to be recording this session, so if you're not comfortable with your camera on, you're more than welcome to turn it off, unless Jill needs you to pop on. That's up to you. And Jill has done a lot of workshops with us. You've probably met her before if you've come to any of our networking events. She's a vibrant person that I love dearly, so I'm really excited that she's going to be doing this with you. And we are going to be relaunching a very popular workshop called Improv for Entrepreneurs that Jill leads. That's going to be on September 19th.
I have a slide at the end with a QR code. Big announcement style.
It's a workshop we've done before in the past, and it's really, really fun. And even if you've done it before, every time it's a little different, and it's definitely worth getting in there. Being able to flex those public speaking muscles, and Jill will tell you all about it. So I'll go ahead and pass it on over to her.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here today. Thank you, Summer, for having me. This Rose and Hustle is actually where the Improv for Entrepreneurs workshop originated. So it's always good to keep bringing it back. It started as an in-person workshop, and we now have virtual versions. I have corporate versions. And at the core of it is really walking away with the skills to be able to talk about yourself, essentially like the badass that you are. Summer gave me a little intro, but this is a little bit more about me. I'm a lifelong theater kid. I started comedy when I was basically in college. That's when I did sketch and improv. And later on in life, went into stand-up comedy. And really, Summer was really the one that brought this workshop out. She knew of my background. She said, "Hey, why don't we do improv for entrepreneurs?" And that was over a year ago. And since then, it has transformed into something truly magical. I know some of you have no idea what you are in for today. And that's okay. That's great. That's the point of improv, is to not know what's coming, because in business, we don't know what's coming. So if you're feeling a little bit of butterflies, you're feeling a little nervous, just know that that's normal, and that I have created this safe space where you will hopefully be able to let down your judgment barriers and flourish so that you can have better speaking skills, whether it's in a networking Zoom room, a networking event in real life, whether you're pitching an investor. We've kind of lost a lot of these soft skills when it comes to conversation because we're so, on our phones like this. So I am here to help. I'm bringing conversation back. Yeah. Okay. That didn't really go, but whatever. So anyway, when Summer asked me to make this workshop almost over a year ago, I didn't really realize all the wonderful things that improv had ingrained in me that really had helped me have a leg up in entrepreneurship, whether I knew about business or not. Improv had taught me how to think quickly on my feet, and to be adaptable and to have the confidence that I might not know what I'm going to say next, but I know whatever I'm going to say is going to be like rooted in my beliefs and values because I have that all up here. And even if I don't know what I'm going to say next, I have learned so much creative thinking through improv that I'm going to come up with something that sounds like it's meant to be there. Improv is great for teamwork, for problem solving, to enhance your social skills, your communication skills. You'll see that the exercises that we do today touch on a lot of these points. And they're all exercises that you can take to your team or your friends or your colleagues and play with them if you ever want to get a little bit those creative muscles flexing, because while a lot of this like personally is ingrained in me and I couldn't lose it if I tried, some people might not think as quickly on their feet, but doing things like this over and over again, just like with your physical muscles, you can train them to get better so that you can do a presentation like this and not have it written out and just never know what you're going to say next, but somehow you just keep going, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. So I love bringing improv to women, especially because I am a firm believer in the fact that women need to take up more space in this world. I see it all the time. Something as simple as being on a train. If you look, women are trying to like shrink themselves in, be small, polite, not take up as much space that everyone can fit in the train. And men, there's a reason that the word man spreading exists, because this literally happened to me at my workout this morning. This man was running in front of me and he would not budge to move to like let me by. There's something about men that they are not afraid to take up space. Whereas women, societally, we have been told to shrink ourselves. And I have to be careful not get too much on my platform here, but I just believe that women are so special and we have all these wonderful, beautiful talents. And there's so many spaces where women are underrepresented. And our first instinct is to shrink and to not make any noise and to not ruffle any feathers. But baby, we need to ruffle those feathers. Okay. If you see what's going on in the world right now, we need to ruffle feathers. We need women to take charge. So this is a judgment free zone. I know it's hard to take up space if you feel like people are watching you and this is being recorded, whatever, but you need to have a little bit of I don't care in you. And that's easier to get the older that you get, I'm finding. But you need to know that this space, this Zoom room today, this is your space. This is your stage. In life, the world is your stage. So why not go big? Because if you're only getting one, take up that space, take that chance, because the alternative is to just let it go and not know what could have happened. So within taking up space, improv doesn't typically have many rules, but for our purposes, these are my rules of today. Again, we are all promising not to judge each other. If someone does something silly or stupid or weird, we celebrate it. We don't judge it. And that allows us to take risks and commit fully. Committing fully is so important, because if you do something half-ass because you're afraid of it looking silly, it's going to look sillier than if you had just gone for it and went full into it. And if you fail, embrace that failure. Such a big part of improv is embracing the failure. You guys have no idea how many TV shows and movies have scenes that were improv and you're only seeing the final product. But if you went into the bloopers footage, I mean, that's why movies and TV shows have blooper footage, because there's so many times that they mess up. But do you think like Steve Carell is like, oh my God, that's horrible, I'm never going to do comedy ever again, when he does a take that makes someone not laugh? No, he's going to be like, okay, what didn't work there, and fix it and go on and go forward. And the fact that I just said laugh, I also want to make an important point that's not on this slide, which is that I want to take away the pressure to be funny today. Improv is not about being funny. Improv is about being in the moment. Improv is about all these other things that you see on here. It's about taking up space, taking risks, committing fully, embracing failure. Nowhere on here does it say you have to be funny. That is not the point of this. We are not in a Second City class. This is like improv for women in business. This is improv for women to show up. So the only rule is to show up as authentically as you can. And yes, and is our final rule of improv, which just means that we say yes to what is presented to us today. Everyone in this room has already said yes to showing up today, and that's huge. That's important. I love you all immediately for that. And now let's say yes to the next step and get warmed up. So I would love for everyone who's comfortable to come off of the microphone, and we are just going to do some affirmations together. So I'm going to say the affirmation and I'll have you repeat it after me. And I would love, as we go along, for you to become more confident and bold in how we say it. So I'm going to invite everyone who wants to come off the microphone and repeat after me. I have something worth saying.
I have something worth saying.
My voice matters.
My voice matters.
I know my shit.
I
know my shit.
I don't need permission to take up space.
I don't need permission to take up space.
I'm the woman that people remember.
I'm
the woman that people remember.
And I was not made to be background noise.
I was not made to be background noise.
I don't chase clients. I attract fans.
I don't chase clients. I attract fans.
I am the mic, the drop, and the encore, baby.
I am the mic, the drop, and the encore, baby.
Yeah, you are, bitches. Good job. All right, everyone feeling a little bit looser now? That was great. That was wonderful. So we're going to start with yes and, which is a classic improv game, a classic improv warm-up, where we've played this in our in-person version, where we've stood around in a circle and we pass it through the circle. Today, it's a small enough group where I'm just going to invite you to contribute as you would like to. And usually I keep it pretty broad and just ask people to come up with their own story. Well, actually, let me take it back. Let me explain how to play the game. So in yes and, we're basically going back and forth and building a story together, building ideas together and saying yes and instead of no, because the point of yes and, the point of this principle is what happens when we stop second guessing ourselves? What happens when we stop shooting down ideas that we have the moment that we have them because we make up all these excuses? What would happen if you just let an idea breathe and explored the options? So the way that we're going to play it in this room today is I'm going to give you an everyday object, like it says on the screen, stapler, water bottle. We'll start out with those. And we're just going to take turns saying what they could be used for. So if I'm starting with the water bottle, I would say it could be used in an impromptu sword fight. And then Summer might jump in and say, yes. And it's also great for digging up sand or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a mind-blowing, it doesn't have to be, let go of the perfectionism, let go of the overthinking. Whatever stupid use for whatever stupid object we're about to talk about right now that comes to your mind, just blurt it out. No one's going to remember it. So just let it go, let it go. All right, everyone ready? Let's go with the stapler. I'll start us off. It can be used to do a merengue dance.
Yes, and you can use it to fend off attackers.
Absolutely.
Yes, and you can use it to pound nails in your walls.
For sure.
Yes, and you could use it to decorate your bedroom.
For sure.
Yes, and you could use it to pretend like you're on a phone with a kid.
Yes, and you can use it as a low-cost facelift, baby.
100%. Love it. All right, let's throw a new
Yes,
object.
and
Do
it can be a microphone if needed.
Yes,
Yeah.
for an impromptu karaoke night. I love it. How about a shoe, a high heel shoe?
Murder weapon.
Yes, and it can be used as a pool for ants.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yes, and a glass for champagne.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and a stirrer for your potion against your ex-boyfriend. Am I right?
Yes, and it could be used as a fashion statement.
Ooh, yes. All right, let's do one more. How about a toothbrush?
It could be used as a baton.
Yeah, conducting the chorus.
Yes, and it can be a magic wand.
Expelliarmus. Like, what does that go? Expelliarmus.
Yes, and it could be used as an eyebrow brush.
Yes, absolutely.
It can be used as a tiny lightsaber.
Say, just do the yes and before.
Yes, and it's a tiny lightsaber.
Yes, it can be. Awesome. Great job. Well, if you guys ever want to use this in your daily life, you can use this as like a partner activity. Just get silly and bounce these crazy ideas off of each other. Or if you ever just need like a creative spark, just think of a random object. Be like, okay, my water bottle, and just jot down like the first 10 things that uses that come to your mind. And it's crazy how your brain, just like a vocal warm up for singers, it really does warm up your brain to get creative. Like I can already tell you guys are warming up, and I'm going to see more and more out of you as the exercises go. So here's where I remind you to stop overthinking. You know, we all have that moment of like, oh, a stapler, that could, nah, that's going to sound stupid. Nah, I'm not going to say that. That's not right. Right. In improv, there is no such thing as right. And that's the same thing in business too, right? There's no right way to do things in business. What works for you might not work for me. What I say and someone finds funny, someone else might not find funny. We have to stop over this overthinking of thinking that people will judge it. Like right there, I could have been like, oh my God, they think I'm an idiot. I messed up the word overthinking. I can't even talk. I'm hosting something. You know, I could go into a whole freaking spiral about it. But literally, if I hadn't even pointed it out just now, none of you would have noticed it. It would not have been your takeaway from today. We think that people are paying attention to every little thing that we are doing. And it is one of the most freeing things to realize that no one gives a crap about you unless you can do something for them. But that's a whole nother story. But we are all so consumed in our own day-to-day that no one, you know, JJ is not going to remember what Lee said today, and Lee's not going to remember what Raisa said today. You know, like no one's going to carry that in and be like, well, I'm never doing business with her because her idea of what to do with a toothbrush was really stupid. You know, you got to like think about these things when you have the fear. It's like, what really is this fear? And just remember, failure equals experience. Like I said, such a huge principle of improv is that failure equals experience. And as entrepreneurs, as women in business, we are inevitably going to fail. And we just have to remember that we're A of all only competing against ourselves, no one else. And B of all that failure is just another learning step on the way to an experience that is going to make us the ideal versions of ourselves. So now we're going to play World's Worst. Let me get my list out. So the way this is a game that they definitely play on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they play, if you've ever seen an improv show, classic game. And in the spirit of not overthinking, I want you guys to just go for this. So the fun of this game is to basically say something that the world's worst doctor would say, if that's the one, or if it's like teacher, what's something that the world's worst teacher might say, like, oh, I can't read, or something like that. So you're basically thinking of what the opposite of something good would be. And typically in the improv world, we would have a back line on the stage and people would step forward when they wanted to contribute. But again, in this room, I just want you guys to speak up whenever you feel called to do so. And with that, we will play World's Worst. So let's go with World's Worst teacher. What are some things that the world's worst teacher might say?
I hate kids.
I dated a 7th grader once.
Why do people
Great job, Lee. Go ahead.
why do people ask so many questions?
Books are stupid.
Books are stupid.
I'm still drunk from last night. Ariana, please teach this lesson for me. True life.
How about the world's worst waiter or waitress?
Well, you can go get your glass over there.
We have no clean utensils.
Yeah, my doctor told me that the flu will go away in a few days, but it will be fine.
Oh, my kids are waiting out in the car. I need to hurry this up.
Oh, our sink is broken, so I haven't been able to wash my hands all shift.
Oh, that's nice, shiny.
Salad, honey, you're skinny. You could order a cheeseburger. How about the world's worst babysitter?
Where's the wine?
I saw Lee's face and I saw you thinking, like, should I say this? Should I say this? I have a feeling that there was something before the wine.
Oh, it was, classic porn. It's fine.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew there's. Love it. Anyone else world's worst babysitter?
You better listen to me. You're gonna call me stepmom one day.
Oh,
Is it okay to take a nap right now?
How about the world's worst personal trainer?
Girl, look at those spaghetti arms. She couldn't lift a 2-pound weight.
My last client had a flat ass too.
So I'm still gonna charge you for the full hour, but we're only gonna do 30 minutes.
All right, let's do one more and then we're going to move on. The world's worst therapist.
I don't have time right now. I have my own issues.
Again
Oh
with
my
this?
God, you have so many problems.
All right, everyone love this one. Okay, Neosha, you go, and then Jessica.
You have so many problems.
Again with this?
Oh my God, you're so annoying.
Oh, wait, who? JJ
I
go.
just-
What was it?
Oh, Raisa can go,
I
and then
just-
I'll go.
Okay, Raisa and then JJ go.
Oh my gosh, you're so annoying right now. I can't hear this. I don't get paid enough for this.
Okay,
Oh
Jane.
my God, you would not believe, but like my ex-boyfriend showed up on my doorstep last night, and let me tell you about what happened.
Awesome. Great job, guys. Give yourself a round of applause. That was world's worst. I hope that taught you a little bit more about quick thinking, creative thinking, just thinking outside the box. You know, we don't often think of what the worst, the world's worst might say. And it's just a fun way to train your brain. So now we're going to get just a bit further outside of your comfort zone with this next game. But before we do, I want to look at like, what is the fear? You know, if you were hesitating in the last game of like, I'm going to say this, nah, I'm not going to say it. Ask yourself when you, not even just in these games, but in life, when you feel yourself resisting something. For example, I always resist writing comedy. I used to be the world's worst procrastinator. And now I'm one of those people that if it's under 2 minutes, I do it right then and there. Like I'm a very structured, but when it comes to writing comedy, I will procrastinate it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I had to ask myself, I'm like, I'm not a lazy person by any means. Why do I keep procrastinating it? And I had to realize that it was because I was afraid to fail at it. I was really afraid to write stuff that wasn't going to be funny. And when you kind of have that insight of what the fear is, it makes it a lot easier, not easier. I don't want to like gloss over it, but it's the start of conquering it, right? When you realize maybe it's the fear of failure, maybe it's the fear of success. Fear of success is a really big thing too. Maybe you don't want to get more than one client a month because you're secretly scared that you can't handle the workload. You know, fear of failure, that's easy. You fail. You know, fear of success, you all of a sudden have responsibility. Now someone's paying you money. Now you got to pony up your talent and the goods. So maybe there's that fear. There's the fear of judgment, which we kind of talked about. So really taking a look at when you're resisting something, why are you resisting it? And how can we break past that fear? And if the fear is the fear of judgment or the fear of sounding silly or stupid, just remember, we're all humans talking to other humans. ChatGPT has a little bit unhumanized us. And I don't say that to be against AI. I just say that I really appreciate creating this space because we don't have a lot of spaces where we practice talking to other people or practice just talking out loud. You know, when you send an email, you can rewrite that stuff all day long until it sounds perfect. But when you're in a room like this, when you're at a networking event, you can't get it perfect. You have to be in the moment and just do it. And that can be scary when you're thinking about, you know, whether you have social anxiety or you might think that the person that you're talking to maybe is above you in stature or power. But at the end of the day, everyone is just a human and everyone wants to be talked like to a human. If you've ever received an email where someone is not talking to you like a human, where it's like either too stiff or too robotic, it doesn't excite you. It doesn't excite you to answer. But when you send an email or talk to someone in conversation like they're an actual human, it makes such a difference. You know, there's a way to talk to someone like they're your friend where they get it while still being formal. You know, we don't always have to be so robotic when we're talking. So speaking of not being robotic, this next game is called Emotional Breakdown. And I titled it as such because, I mean, as women in business, who doesn't have an emotional breakdown every once and again? So in improv, we play this game called genres, and that's where this game really came from. So on the improv stage, we would have two actors doing a scene, and the caller would stop the scene and give them a genre, whether it's like Western or soap opera. And then the two players would have to continue doing that scene in that style genre. For our workshop, how we do this is I'm just going to have some volunteers, one volunteer at a time, come off the microphone, and I'll have you talk about whatever you want. You can talk about your day yesterday, what your weekend plans are. I don't really care what you are talking about. I'm more going to care the tone of how you are saying it. So as you're talking, I'm going to annoyingly shout out emotions at you. And no matter what you're saying, if you're talking about walking your dog and I shout out sad, I want you to change the tone of how you're talking to be really sad. So that no matter what you're talking about, even if it's something really happy, it's gonna sound sad. And then if I tell you to be happy and excited and energized, you can change up your voice like this. And it doesn't even matter if you're talking about the fact that you ran over a lizard and you're feeling really bad about it because, oh my God, you just killed a living creature. You're happy because I gave you the emotion happy. So that's how we play. That's emotional breakdown. And with that, I would love a volunteer to be our first volunteer.
I'll go, Jill.
All right, Jessica. So yeah, just go ahead and just start talking about any subject you want. And I'm just going to throw some emotions at you in a minute.
Okay. So lately I've been redoing some aspects of my house, like painting different rooms and upgrading some paneling, just like minor updates and tweaks because I'm preparing to sell at some point.
Terrified.
And the reality is, I don't know if anyone will buy this fucking house, and I might be stuck here permanently. I need to get out. I need to get out. And what I've been doing is just praying and hoping that the universe is going to deliver something to me. And I'm like, is this even...
Flirty.
What was it?
Flirty.
Oh. And I've just been hoping that the universe is going to like deliver something very appealing and alluring. Just because I've been a very good girl by updating these things that I've really been avoiding for 4 years since I've been living in this house. And she's looking really cute. She's got a little facelift now. And
Confused.
she's entering her prime, but I'm like, are people going to actually see the worth and like, are they going to love the charm as much as I did? And are they going to love the scent of the seaweed at dusk every day? Or are they going to be like, this is disgusting. How did this person live here for so long? And then I start to think about my worth and I'm like, am I fucking crazy that I bought this house? And is there something wrong with me? Am I the seaweed smell that I'm smelling at the end of every day at low tide?
Yeah.
God. Oh my God, that's so hard. That's so fun. That's so hard. This is good, Jill. Thank you so much.
Stop it, Jessica. Don't say that. Now no one's gonna want to volunteer. Shh.
It's not hard. That was me playing all of you. Is it hard or is it not?
But you know what? That's the thing too, is that everything's hard until it's easy. Right? I just had a boxing workout this morning. Whew. That shit is hard, but it does get easier every time I do it. Girl, I was not an athlete. I was a musical theater kid. So everything is hard until it's easy. So with that said, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right. Go ahead, JJ. What do you want to talk about?
All right. So yesterday, we have the marine layer here in Long Beach, but I went out for my walk anyway, and I try to get my, 10,000 steps in every day. So I was walking this kind of loop around Long Beach, hit the marina and, try to get some stairs in here. Because the other thing about Long Beach is it's super flat. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Angry.
It's so flat. And it's like, oh my God, I'm going to totally lose all of my hill conditioning that I built up when I was living in the desert and I was up against the hill. And it's so annoying that I have to pick out stairs to try to, make sure that my legs don't fall into jelly or something. It's really
shy.
And then, it's kind of like after the walk, I was talking to my friend and she lives in France. And so I WhatsApped her. And the weird thing is that I normally do it from Facebook, but I couldn't quite, for some reason, the Facebook wasn't working. So I had to put in my earbuds and I had to
Hyper.
I had to do it from my phone, but it was really cool because she and I were talking about so much stuff. So she was talking about her friend, who's also my friend, who lives in California, even though my other friend lives in France half the time. But then we were talking about whether or not she's going to come back or not. And so she's not sure, but probably not this year, but maybe sometime later because she bounces between the two, and she has a mom who's here in like South Carolina, and so she has to like do all this stuff for her mom, and it's crazy, but she's like still holding it together, which is awesome.
Great job. That difference between shy and hyper. Whoop. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. But it shows too, like, you know, the energy that you bring really matters. And a lot of us are doing so many of our meetings in Zoom. Like I do way more virtual meetings and networking than I do in person. And even in person, your energy matters, but especially in a Zoom room where you've just got this square, you can't even see the person's whole body and their movements. The energy that you bring to your tone and voice absolutely matters in how someone's going to receive you. So like, obviously we don't want to be shy or hyper, but just seeing the explicit difference between those two, it's a very different experience, like receiving it. So awesome job, JJ. Thank you. Let's do one more if anyone's feeling ready for an emotional breakdown. I saw Raisa
go
take her mic
next.
off. Yes. All right, go ahead. Whatever you want to talk about, just let it go.
Okay, so recently I went to visit my sister in North Carolina. So she just moved from South Carolina to North Carolina. And relationship is really complicated. Um, so I went and my
Mean,
dad came with us too. So it was like, what?
mean, like mean and nasty.
Mean. Oh yeah. So I mean, gosh, it's so annoying to hang out with her and him, and I just hate family. And I don't hate family, but I'm just kind of saying this to sound mean, but I love my family. And we went to this fall, which was really beautiful, but I mean, honestly, like the water was just so cold. And
Peaceful.
the dog also
Peaceful, zen.
peaceful.
Yes.
Yes. So we went into the waterfall and the water was really cold, but I breathed through it and it felt just really invigorating in my body. And I breathed the fresh air and I just remember feeling the sun on my skin. And even though my sister really didn't go into it, I just made sure that I was having a good time.
Drunk.
And we actually drunk. It's funny because I don't know, well, I barely remember most of my time, and I actually said some things that I shouldn't have said, like pushed a little bit too much of what I think my sister's house should look like, when really it's none of my, problem. Um, I don't
All
know. I'm
right, that
judging
was
myself
great.
right
No,
now.
perfect job. Awesome. Awesome job. Really fun. Great job just getting into it, all three of you, and really going for it. I really appreciate you volunteering. And our last game is simply called Thank You Next, mostly because I'm obsessed with Ariana Grande. So I want to name as many things as I can after her. So we already had yes and, so we have to have Thank You Next. So I just want, you guys did a lot of brave stuff in here. I certainly respect that for anyone who's not trained in theater, that this is no easy feat to do, to come off the microphone with people that you don't know and get out there and put yourself out there and be a little bit silly. So I truly thank you for showing up for yourselves today. But I want to take a moment for you to thank you for showing up today. So think about some of the stuff that we did in this brief but impactful, I certainly hope, workshop. Think about how you went from maybe a little bit scared to a little bit more confident. And I want you to think about, if you took all the things we learned today, getting out of your fear, fighting the resistance, taking up space, what would that look like if you combined all of that in 6 months? So I want you to imagine you 6 months from now, thanking the you today for something that you did today that really helped to get you there. So if my example that I have up here is, thank you, Jill, for showing up scared and doing it anyway. That workshop was the first time I said my message out loud without apologizing for it. So if anyone feels called to thank themselves, it's very therapeutic, I promise.
I can go.
Go ahead.
So thank you, Haisa, for showing up for yourself, for getting out of your comfort zone, for speaking your truth and believing that what you say can help people. Thank you for getting out there and talking about your business in workspaces where before you weren't comfortable. And I love you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Raisa. That was awesome. Jessica, I think were you going to come off?
Yeah. Um, Thank you, Jessica, for showing up today and having fun, even though I was low energy prior and I almost didn't come. And that is going to be the theme for the next 6 months of like show up anyway when you're tired because you might actually have fun.
I love that. Showing up is, like I said, so much half the battle. They say that in the gym all the time, but it's just true in anything. It's showing up makes a big difference. Awesome. Anyone else? JJ?
Thank you, JJ, for showing up and seeing how kind of being loose can actually build your confidence instead of trying to be controlling all the time.
I love that. That's so true. Yes. Got to get rid of that overthinking mechanism. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you guys. But of course, knowing me, you know that there has to be a yes and what's next, because I can feel the excitement. I can see the changes happening. So if you are really ready to step into that power and complete activating your voice, I'm offering everyone here a free session with me for a perfect elevator pitch. You know, we started activating our voices and learning how to use them and tone and everything. And it's so important with the brand, with your brand messaging when you're in a room to be able to pitch yourself. If you can't pitch yourself, you're not going to get the opportunities. And we can't rely on ChatGPT to make up pitches for us because it's going to sound robotic. So I offer a free 20-minute session for all of you where we'll get in a Zoom room and I'll have you, you know, I'm not going to have you like act drunk again. We won't get as silly as that, but we'll do some of these like loosening up exercises to really get to the heart of like, what is it that you need to be saying to get the right opportunities? So if you are interested in that, there is the QR code for you. I'm sure Summer will send it in a follow-up email as well. And lastly, I'm going to go back to this page. I don't know which one to leave it on. Lastly, as Summer mentioned at the top, if you are local to our area, we do have an in-person version of this on September 19th. If you go to Roseanne Hustle's Eventbrite, it will be there. You can snap this QR code. Again, I'm sure Summer is going to send out the link for this one as well. But yeah, those are kind of two opportunities to continue this journey. If you live here, we'd love to see you. Our friend Amanda hosts it over at Cerulean Tides in Pompano Beach. And she always makes sure it's like extra special for us. We'll have dranky drinks for liquid courage. We'll have some food. It'll be a really fun Friday night. So that's that. And that's that. Summer, I'll let you take it back over.
Thank you so much, Jill. Every time you do this, I'm still like breaking through my own like nerves. So it's good for me. Like I've gone to all the events that you've done with Improv, and I feel like I keep learning stuff every time. And I feel like, you know, if you guys have enjoyed this and you are local, you will absolutely love the Improv for Entrepreneurs workshop that we're doing in person on September 19th. It really just is a fun time. It is cathartic. And everyone gets so into it. It's just it's a good bonding and connecting experience. You're going to meet other women that are mostly business owners or just in the business world and want to work on, being able to pitch themselves and, public speaking and even just connecting with people and networking. So this is a really good resource. And again, I hope you enjoy this. We have the recap will be posted on our YouTube. We will send out the links in an email so you have all that information. And definitely stay tuned for the other things we have coming up. Everything that we're doing is on roseandhustle.com. So if you're local and even if you're if you're not in South Florida, there are things that we do offer, resources and ways that we can help connect other women in business and help them grow. So we're really excited that you joined us today, took this little time out of your lunch break to kind of recharge with us. So thank you guys all so much for coming, and hopefully we'll see you at another one.
Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I hope you guys had fun too.